I would just add to the naming convention thing. When we started implementing this, we started getting a lot of clarity, and we're able to actually scale easier too, because especially when you start to scale, you're going to have a lot of creatives, a lot of ad sets, and a lot of different campaigns sometimes. And this allowed us to put in some structure, some order into this whole thing where it was chaos before.
Here is an example of an ad set. With just looking by the ad set name, you actually wouldn't know if what the audiences would be falling under this ad set, what the audiences would be under this ad set, what the audiences would be under any of these ad sets, since they aren't named correctly. So it would take you a couple of minutes, or you would take your valuable time opening each of the ad sets, checking who the audiences are, so you can then decide if you wanted to scale this audience, if these audiences are doing well or not. So what I would recommend, or we would recommend, is to start using a naming convention. We have been using the naming conventions on our accounts. So every time we do an audit or review a client or a campaign, we can easily know what the campaign objective is by assigning a proper naming convention. For example, we have conversions for Dr. Berg. We have a traffic campaign for Dr. Berg, messages, catalog ads, and video views. We previously also had the reach campaign and engagement campaign. Now, by just looking at the campaign names, we can easily tell that all the ad sets under this campaign are focused on or optimized for conversion. All or everything in here are focused on traffic objectives. Moving on to our ad set level. So a campaign has 3 levels again. We have the main campaign, ad set level, and the ad level. So under the ad set level, this is where we add the audiences, the targeting sections. So our recommended naming convention for the ad set level, you've been seeing this naming convention in the past coaching sessions, where I always use W or C. W stands for warm, and C stands for cold. Cold audiences are your interests, your lookalike audiences, your micro-targeting audiences. Your warm audiences would be the custom audiences you create under Business Manager. This includes your video watchers, website visitors, customer lists, etc. And then what product you are promoting or where you are directing users to. If it's a conversion campaign, so you can name it, for example, warm for warm audience, trace minerals as the product you're promoting. The audience would be your top 25% video watchers. And the optimization is purchase. And the last letters would be the initial of the ad manager or the person that actually created the ad set. This section, the initials are optional. If you do have a big team under you, you would want to have their initials added onto your naming convention so you would know who created the campaign. If it's only you running the campaign or the account, then you can actually remove the initials afterwards. Moving on to our 3rd level of the campaign, which is ads level. This is where you add your creatives, ad copy, headline, the website destination URLs. So the recommended naming convention that we use is the type of creative, and the product shown on the creative. For example, we have adrenaline cortisol, FAQ video, adrenaline cortisol image, digest formula, FAQ video. Version 2, if you do have multiple versions of the creative, you can add the version number afterwards. We have video blood sugar support, as long as you have the creative type and the product that it's currently promoting. Because normally you can customize your thumbnails for videos. So if you had customized it with a generic thumbnail that follows the 20% rule, you wouldn't determine what is inside that video. So it would be ideal to have the product name of what is currently being promoted. If it's a blog, then you can add the blog name or blog title, a short title of it, and then the type of creative you are currently using. Do you have anything to add, Boss Jorge, or can I move to the last topic that we have for today? And then we can show them how to grab content that they are posting onto social media. Grab the post ID. We can use Page Insights or Creator Studio, and then how to run campaigns for those.
Yeah, that's gonna be good to show the live demo there. I would just add to the naming convention thing. When we started implementing this, we started getting a lot of clarity, and we're able to actually scale easier too. Because especially when you start to scale, you're gonna have a lot of creatives, a lot of ad sets, and a lot of different campaigns sometimes. And this allowed us to put in some structure, some order into this whole thing where it was chaos before. And so again, it just allowed us to more easily scale, like Jonald was saying, especially if you have a big team, you know, putting in those initials of like, well, who created this and who's responsible for this and whatnot. That also helped a lot. But so we definitely recommend following the naming convention. Just keep some sort of consistency there. It's going to help you just not add any more confusion to, you know, sometimes learning, you know, this whole Facebook game is already sometimes confusing. So just adding in some organization definitely helps out. That's all.
Awesome. So moving on to our topic, I'll just cover the last part of the slides. So question is, how do you to use content effectively? And that would be attention. You want attention for your brand. You want attention for your products or services. So let's say, for example, you have been posting videos on your Facebook page, and it's been getting traction. So you can use those videos and run them for video view campaigns so you can reach more people, or you can expand your audience afterwards. So here is a sample of a campaign structure for a video view campaign. So since this is still a top of the funnel campaign, you still would want to target cold traffic, and then you can add up 3 ad creatives. This can be either post IDs, or you can recreate the post again on your business manager. So this is in turn a question again, or an answer for, or an additional answer for Mindy earlier. These are what we call audience buckets. So out of the video watchers that we have from this video, we create or add them onto different sets of audience buckets. So the audience buckets are the 3-second video watchers, 25%, 50, 75, and 95% video watchers. These audience buckets then can easily be added or accessed into your audience manager inside your business manager. Once you created them, it normally takes a couple of hours for it to show the right number of audiences that you can retarget, and you can use those audiences on future campaigns such as traffic to blog to further provide them value and nurture them, or you can do a conversion campaign to either send them to a registration page or to have them purchase a product onto your website. Quick note on the conversion campaigns: if your pixel is pretty new, we've covered on the earlier questions, coaching sessions on how to season your pixel first so you don't spend money without generating results. You want, if pixel is pretty new, it doesn't have any data yet, so it couldn't optimize well if you immediately push for purchase. So you want to go for pixel journey from view content, add to cart, initiate checkout, and then have those initiate checkouts purchased. So it's a step-by-step process on seasoning your pixel, or having your pixel learn who your desired audience. That way in the future, once you start a conversion campaign for purchase, it would already know who and where to show your ads to.
Do we want to cover how many events we recommend for each step of the funnel there before we move on to the next step?
It would be ideal if you can have at least 50 conversion events before you move on to the next step of the funnel. 50 conversion events is the general number for a campaign to fully optimize.
Right. So if you start optimizing for add to carts, you want 50 add to carts, and then you're going to switch over and start a new ad set, optimizing for initiate checkouts. You want another 50. And obviously, if you get sales from that, then that's gravy. But then finally, you can switch over to the purchase event optimization, and then it should start to perform a lot better. And we also get this from an agency point of view, right? I get this from customers sometimes where Sometimes you can have that mindset of like, well, I'm kind of just wasting money here, but it should be looked at more like an investment. You just have to invest this money in order for your pixel to perform better and more optimized in the future.
Yes. So our next sample campaign is your messenger campaign. So let's say if you have been putting content out there, for example, blogs, articles, videos, you can grab those content and or you also have lead magnets. So you can grab those content, create a message campaign. It can either be a traffic campaign using a reference URL or a message objective campaign using a keyword. And then you can have 3 types of creatives as well that you can use to promote those lead magnets. Now, before we jump into Q&A, let's go over a sample scenario on how you can first review all the contents that you have promoted or posted organically on your Facebook page or your Instagram account, and then how you can use those content and put it into paid advertising without clicking the boost button on Facebook. So you do have 2 options. I opened them ahead of time, but I can just guide you through on how to access them. I opened them ahead of time since they take a lot of time to load. As you can see, it's actually still loading. But first option is via your business manager. So you'll have your mega menu option. We've covered this specific lesson last month under Creator Studio. So you access Creator Studio. You will be redirected onto this page if you do only have one Facebook page connected. So you'll be redirected automatically on that Facebook page. And then under your posts, you can see how your content is being accepted by your general audience. And you can then determine, let's say, this content has been producing or has been getting a lot of organic traction, and you wanted to get more audiences to see this content. So you can grab or click on it, copy the post ID, then go ahead and let's say you don't have a video view campaign as of yet running. So you want to, again, copy the post ID, or you can copy the post link. Either way would still work. So we would run a video view campaign. And I'll skip the audience targeting for now. Go directly to your ad level. And let's wait ad setup. Use existing post. Now the next error that you see normally happens. So a valid promotable post with this ID was not found. What you'll do is, Facebook is actually a smart application. So it actually gives you the correct post ID to use. So grab the number below and use that post ID. Reason being is, when you copy the post ID or copy post link, it actually redirects you to the watch section on Facebook, where it actually just shows all videos that is currently available on Facebook. That's not a post ID, but Facebook actually grabs that post ID for you and correct the post ID that you have. So let's compare the URL I got from the Creator Studio when I copy the post link. So the video is about lemon water. What Facebook actually recommended afterwards when I entered the wrong post ID is also the lemon water is essential for fasting video. Now you can use this video as your ad level version 1. Then you can add a separate video. For example, if you find another one that has been getting good traction, you can use the second video. Another section where you can actually get most, or if not a good list of posts that you can promote for video view campaigns or which campaigns, is via your Facebook page. All you have to do is go to Insights. If you couldn't find or locate Insights directly, click on the More section, and it should give you the Insights section. So once you are on the page Insights, select Posts, And currently, this will show you the organic reach that you have generated on all your posts on your Facebook page. You can then compare or see which organic posts actually has been generating results or has been getting a lot of traction. Now, these icons would also show if the post is actually a photo or a video. If you want to run a video view campaign, I would recommend checking out all the videos that you have. You can always click see more to go back to the earlier post that you have. And then there's going to be this section, which is going to be your reach. Now it has this specific video has two colors on the reach section. So let's zoom in a little bit so I can show you. So the darker orange is actually for paid traffic. The lighter orange is for organic. The rest of the posts that you can see here are all organic reach. Now, if you're looking at the reach and engagement on all of the posts, you can easily determine that this post actually has been doing quite well. It has 398,236 organic reach or engagement. So, meaning this specific content is being left by your audience. Now, what you'll do is click on the title. It takes a little bit to pull up the post itself, but pretty much you're going to do the same thing. Copy the post ID, add the post ID as your creative, and run that as your video view campaign. Now we do have a question from Claudia, posted by Rain. So 50 add to carts to use conversion objective. So Claudia, conversion objective can or has multiple campaign optimizations. Under conversion objective, you can optimize for purchase, add to cart, initiate checkout, view content, or others such as completed registration or leads. Now, if you are seasoning your pixel, meaning it is a brand new pixel, you just started to create or just created a pixel, what you'll do is you follow the pixel journey. First conversion campaign that you create is for either a view content or an add to cart conversion event. Now, once you have 50 conversion events for that specific optimization, you jump onto the next one. So let's say we start with a view content. You run the campaign until you get 50 view content or conversion events. Once done, proceed to the next campaign objective, which is, or optimization, which is add to cart. Run it again until you get 50. Once done, proceed to the next phase, which is initiate checkout. Run until you get 50, and then that's the time you can optimize for purchase. Now, once you are running a view content, add to cart, or initiate checkout conversion optimizations, you'll still definitely get some sales depending on how good the product is, how well the copy is written on your website. You'll still definitely get some sales. Those are an extra for the campaign objectives you're running. The main purpose first is for your pixel to learn who your desired audiences are. Because if the pixel is unseasoned and you immediately go to purchase conversion event, you're going to be spending a lot with less or zero results. Do you have any other recommendations for that, Boss Jorge?
No, that's exactly what I would say too.
Awesome. So next question is, using conversion objective optimized for add to cart, even you want to see at least 50 add to carts before moving on. Yes, you want to see 50 events triggered before you move on to the next step. 50 events triggered is the standard optimization number for Facebook.
Right.
So if you look at your campaigns that are currently running, if it's still showing learning phase, meaning it hasn't reached 50 events. If it's shows active, then meaning it already had reached 50 events, and Facebook is now fully optimized to get you the results you wanted for the campaign objective you are aiming for. Next question from Mindy. So after you have the bucket of custom audience of highly watched video, do you nurture the bucket?
Nurture.
Nurture. Yep. Okay. Bucket. If so, how or do you sell them? Yes, you actually, once you have the audiences created, for example, of video watchers, part of the nurturing process is you can either send them to blogs, You can do a messages campaign where you generate leads to your managed account, ask for their email and phone number, and continue to nurture them via multi-channel using the nurture sequences that you have. You can provide them or send them blogs. You can provide them articles. You can provide them videos embedded onto messages as well. And yes, Mindy, you can also retarget the video watchers custom audience that you have for another set of videos that you wanted to use. For example, if it's a series of videos talking about a specific topic, then yes, you can retarget video watchers. Awesome. So that's going back to what we're sharing earlier. That's how you create or use the post IDs from your most engaging content and run those under your paid campaigns to generate more traction and then build out your audiences for future retargeting or nurturing.